I like being private. I think it ain't really nobody business. Like, listen to the music and you'll know what you need to know.
Hey, guys, so Latto said all that about keeping things private, but then popped out in broad daylight with 21 Savage like it was nothing. They didn't just grab food quietly, they pulled up to one of the most visible spots in the city, St. Vincent, a restaurant already known for attracting cameras. That one night out blew everything wide open. Fans swarmed the comment sections, pointing out how Latto tried to play it off as being camera shy, but the reality? Those pics looked less like casual date night shots and more like full-on rollout photos. The energy in those frames screamed couple goals, and people online were calling them straight-up marriage pics, based on vibes alone. No ring close-ups, no paperwork, but the way they looked together was enough to make the internet explode. The body language said, "We outside," and for a pair who've been dodging questions for months, that's all fans needed to start talking wedding bells. But here's where the story takes a sharper turn. Because this isn't just about Latto and 21 Savage. There's another name in the mix, Kiana Joseph. Multiple outlets have been reporting for a while that she's 21 Savage's wife. Some even said there were divorce talks back in 2023, but no one's ever produced official paperwork. The point is, her name isn't a rumor. It's been in print. So when these new photos of Latto and 21 surfaced, it felt like striking a match near gasoline. And that's why whispers started immediately about Kiana prepping to sue. But let's keep it real, the rollout itself didn't feel random. The angles were perfect, the lighting just fuzzy enough to give paparazzi caught us vibes, and the intimacy felt staged. It was almost too clean. This is how you move in 2025, you let the restaurant play paparazzi, and you act like you got caught in the moment, all while letting the internet do the rest of the talking. This is how you play the game in 2025. You let the blogs do the heavy lifting, you keep your own captions cute and vague, and you let the photos speak louder than words. That's exactly why this rollout feels like it has Latto's fingerprints all over it. Nothing messy, nothing desperate, just strategic. She knows the power of images. One picture can set the internet ablaze way faster than a 1,000-word post, and she leaned all the way into that fact. She also knows who she's standing next to.
She's mad at me because we had shared that she was in a relationship with 21 Savage, or we claimed that she was based on some stuff that we saw online, and she, her team wanted to pay me to take it down, and I said we don't do that. And she had put me in a freestyle, which she was the first rapper to do that in a nice way, one that mattered. All the other rappers who talked about me aren't even famous enough to mention. But I thought, like, her getting mad at me was kind of...
21 Savage isn't the type to jump online and pour his heart out. He's a quiet man, private to the core. So how do you get someone like that to step forward? You don't beg. You raise the stakes. You step outside with him in full daylight, cameras flashing, so that his silence starts looking like a decision, a statement all by itself. And that's exactly what people online are running with right now. The loudest question making circles is simple: is there a real case number, a fresh filing, an actual divorce on the books? So far, no major outlet has shown one. Nothing concrete, no official papers. But here's the kicker, even without a filing, the photos already did their job. They made the relationship feel stamped in the public's eyes. They also dragged the wife storyline right back into the spotlight, front and center, with everybody watching for the next move. Bottom line, the pictures hit different. Real chemistry, real pressure, and just enough chaos to keep this story from fading. And whether a lawsuit comes tomorrow or not at all, the narrative has already been set. Latto and 21 Savage are outside together, and the whole culture is talking. A publicly reported wife in the shadows, and a rollout that feels less like a messy leak and more like a carefully placed nudge. Gentle, sure, but strategic. Because once a secret gets touched by sunlight, it ain't a secret anymore. And now, somebody has to make the next move. Whether it's him, her, or the wife, silence won't hold forever. After those island pictures dropped, the question wasn't only what we saw, it was how we were allowed to see it. That's where the spin comes in. Latto isn't running to Instagram live to scream her side or sliding comments into the shade room. Instead, it looks like she's letting perfectly curated shots tell the story for her, letting the silence become part of the narrative. And if she really was behind how these pics just happened to surface, then she's showing a level of media strategy most people don't give her credit for. Because Latto's always been about glam up front, mystery in the back. She shares just enough to keep fans engaged, flashy outfits, career wins, luxury vibes, but when it comes to heavier topics like marriage, kids, or serious relationships, she frames them as private. These photos fit her blueprint perfectly, feed the fans a taste of sweetness, but keep the real moves tucked away where nobody can pry. It's PR disguised as everyday living, and it's smooth. But here's the risk: if 21 Savage clocks that she orchestrated this accidental rollout, it could backfire. Because if there's one thing we know about 21, it's that he doesn't put family business on the mic. His brand is silence. He raps, he tours, he runs his plays, but when it comes to relationships, he barely says a word. That's why one clean photo of him standing next to Latto, uncaptioned, unbothered, ends up feeling louder than any press release. In his world, saying nothing says everything. The machinery moving around Latto and 21 Savage has been too careful. Every rollout, every angle, every silence feels calculated. And I'll be real, I don't wish this type of exposure on anyone. Having your so-called secret pushed into daylight is messy. But here's the thing: was it really a secret if they were comfortable enough to be out in the open together? Maybe, just maybe, 21 has already divorced his wife, and that would be the clean answer to everybody asking, what about the wife? What about the kids? Some people are swearing up and down that paperwork is coming, but until there's a real case number or a court filing, everything's just speculation. No receipts, no confirmation, just whispers floating heavy through blogs and comment sections. And that's why the internet is completely split. On one side, you got supporters saying, they're grown, let them live, who cares? On the other, you've got critics bringing up the wife and the lawsuits, saying this could get ugly fast if the rumors about legal action are even half true. And that's the dangerous part. Even though so much of this is labeled allegedly, once the internet grabs it, the story starts moving like fact. The blogs sip the tea, then pour it out for millions to consume. And now, every new photo of Latto and 21 together feels louder because of the weight of the past. Let's not forget, this man has kids. That part isn't rumor, it's fact. 21 Savage has 3 children, something he's acknowledged in interviews and that outlets have reported for years. And when family gets added into the mix, what might look like just a couple of cute pictures suddenly turns into a very different conversation. Nobody is out here debating whether 21 Savage has kids, that's solid ground, that's fact. And that reality changes the way the public looks at everything. When you know a man already has a family, every new romance feels heavier, like every photo, caption, or late-night sighting carries double the weight. It's not just about 2 people dating, it's about what that means for the family already in place. And then comes the wife, Kiana Joseph. Her name isn't a blog whisper or a rumor cooked up by stans, it's been printed and repeated by multiple outlets calling her 21's wife for years. Around 2023, the divorce chatter started heating up, but here's the catch: the paperwork fans keep imagining has never surfaced. No official filings, no confirmed timeline. Which leaves us with a messy picture: the wife is real, the divorce is unclear, and the timeline is sketchy. And a messy timeline? That's perfect fertilizer for gossip to grow. Because rewind back to 2019, when 21 Savage got arrested by ICE, the whole world was shocked to find out he was born in the UK and had overstayed his visa. That's fact, not speculation. From there, fans started tying his marriage to immigration, spinning the theory that he married Kiana for a green card. According to the whispers, it wasn't about passion, it was about paperwork. And once that seed was planted, the theories just kept stretching. Some fans even claim that's why people whisper about them having an open marriage, allegedly. The idea being, if both sides knew the arrangement, then 21 being seen in daylight with Latto isn't betrayal, it's just part of the deal. Again, that's speculation, not confession. But speculation like that makes these rollout photos feel way bolder. Because for years, people have been clocking every move, waiting for proof that the rumors might actually hold weight. The clues have been there for years: the tattoo behind Latto's ear with "Shh,
Yeah.
21 Savage's real name. The sneaky matching trips that fans track down like detectives. The birthday posts that always felt a little too aligned to be coincidence. They never confirmed, never said it out loud, but fans didn't need permission. They built a whole relationship timeline from fragments, piecing together the puzzle like it was their full-time job. So when the St. Vincent photos dropped, nobody was shocked. It wasn't new information, it was confirmation. Proof that the rumors weren't just whispers, they had weight. To fans, those shots weren't about dinner at a restaurant. They were validation. Years of speculation turned into hard evidence overnight. Now stack that against the bigger picture, kids already in the mix, a wife with cloudy divorce papers, immigration drama, and a romance that's been hiding in plain sight for years. That SY what should it VE been just another vacation flick spiraled into headlines like marriage pics and a wife SUES. The past made the present feel like a statement. And if the whispers about an open marriage hold even a sliver of truth, it explains why Latto looks completely unbothered, and why 21 Savage seems comfortable stepping into daylight with her by his side. Because this isn't just about Latto and 21 anymore, it's about the blueprint of celebrity scandal. We've seen this before. Think Beyoncé and Jay-Z. They took messy whispers, turned them into art, and spun near-divorce drama into one of the most powerful brand comebacks in music history. Lemonade aired the pain, 444 responded, and suddenly betrayal became business. The point isn't comparing catalogs, it's showing how couples can flip chaos into control. When you dictate the beat, you can own the narrative, even when the streets are singing a different song. People always forgive the slip if the rollout is smooth enough. And that's exactly the play here. Latto and 21 Savage aren't hopping on tracks or dropping albums about their love life, but the strategy feels familiar. It's the let the world talk while you steer in silence method. Look at Rihanna and A$AP Rocky, they played the long game perfectly. For years it was soft hints, low-key sightings, whispers online. Then suddenly, the world was staring at maternity photos, and the story was already locked in their control. That's the exact lane Latto seems to be moving in. Don't hand the public too much, too fast. Let them argue themselves tired, let the blogs burn out, and eventually people are forced to accept the new normal. The question is, what even is the new normal here? Because if 21 Savage's marriage to Kiana Joseph really was about paperwork, and she knew that from the jump, then maybe both sides were comfortable living in parallel lanes. He could handle his business, she could hold her place, and the world didn't need to know the fine print. That would explain why 21 Savage can step out in daylight next to Latto without blinking. It doesn't make it a fairy tale, but it does make sense. And in that context, Kiana threatening to sue feels less like a sure thing and more like a card on the table, leverage, not certainty. Because if everybody understood the arrangement, then what's the real legal ground? Allegedly, always allegedly. But here's the bigger picture, this isn't just about who's holding hands in public. It's about how carefully curated images, whispers of paperwork, and controlled silence can shift the narrative from scandal to strategy. And if Latto keeps steering like this, the new normal may not just be acceptance, it might be dominance. Every famous couple gets chewed up by the same machine. If you hide, the crowd accuses you of being ashamed. If you step out, they say you're performing. There's no winning, only choosing what you're willing to feed the public. And that's exactly where Latto and 21 Savage find themselves right now. The question isn't what just happened, it's what comes next. Because that's what decides if this ends as just a spicy week on the timeline, or as a chapter that clings to both of their names for years. Right now, they're standing at a fork in the road. If Kiana Joseph, the alleged wife, really does sue, the entire vibe flips overnight. A court filing would drag everything private into the spotlight, marriage dates, messy timelines, kids, even immigration paperwork, all under a microscope. That would force 21 Savage to break his silence and address things directly, something he's managed to avoid for years. And it would push Latto into uncharted waters. Even if she's not named in the filing, her name would be splashed across every headline, her brand tied to the drama whether she wants it or not. And that's dangerous for someone still building mainstream pop power. The internet may thrive on chaos, but brands, sponsors, and award shows hate uncertainty. If this turns legal, it's not gossip anymore, it's a soap opera with stakes that could reshape careers. On the flip side, if no lawsuit ever comes, the noise fades. The pictures get normalized. Latto and 21 quietly shift into public-ish couple territory, and the internet adjusts to the new normal. Either way, their next move decides the story. One headline can turn this into history, or bury it as just another scandal swallowed by the timeline. At some point, the wife rumors stop being front-page news and start fading into background noise. Over time, people stop treating it like a scandal and start treating Latto and 21 like any other celebrity couple, sometimes cute, sometimes cringe, but undeniably real. And if that's the outcome, this vacation rollout will be remembered as the turning point. The moment their relationship shifted from whispers in the shadows to facts in the daylight. And Latto's already laid out her playbook in her own words. SUES said before she wants to keep marriage and babies private, and that tells you everything you need to know. She doesn't play by Hollywood's rules. Don't expect balloons, don't expect Vogue covers or paparazzi parades. If she does get married or have another child, expect hints, subtle peeks, and maybe a quiet reveal months later. That's how she protects her peace in an industry that devours privacy. For 21 Savage, the legacy play is all about tone. He's already lived through ICE detention, serious charges, rap beefs, and endless rumors, and through it all, he built an image of quiet strength. If he frames this relationship as grown man decisions and nothing else, he walks out steady. But if a lawsuit drags him into the mud, that same calm composure is the only thing that can keep his image intact. Fans will forgive mistakes, but they won't forgive being lied to. Consistency is his way through the fire. And that's where the story stands, a couple straddling the line between scandal and strategy, privacy and exposure. One wrong headline could turn this into chaos, but one right move could lock them in as the power couple no one saw coming. So what do you think? Is this the birth of a new hip-hop love story, or just another scandal waiting to explode? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to click on the next video on your screen for more celebrity drama you want to believe.